Hello dearies, welcome to the craft kitchen in a very cold, no, freezing North Rhine-Westphalia in Germany. Well, today is the 6th of May and yeah, on Saturday I just packed away my winter clothing. Luckily I kept out some, to be exact, 2 knitted sweaters for days like today or yesterday or the day before. Yeah, that's amongst other things what I've been doing after ABC April 2025 for 1 week. So I've been doing my chores properly, preparing for spring, finally, and I've almost finished my 3-spine junk journal, Mademoiselle Guillot. So all the signatures are in. Everything is decorated, all ephemera and embellishments are in as well. But now I do have to make a closure for this because she became quite chunky. And yeah, if you place her like this, not holding together, she will just open. Maybe I've overdone it a bit, maybe not. I don't know. So yeah, if you lay her flat, so like this, she will look like this on this side and like that on that side. Well, I quite like it. So we're going to be making the closure today and then a final flip through. So like I told you in one of the first videos of making Mademoiselle Guillot's journal, I want to use this belt bucket I found in a thrift shop. It's been a pair of 2 actually. This is, yeah, sort of antique brass looking and I really like it. And for this I'm going to be using faux leather made of packaging paper, quite sturdy packaging paper. I guess, yeah, you can guess. This was a mail bag. It actually took me a whole day to find the right color for this. Well, I do have some faux leather, but all these pieces I had that were long enough to wrap this journal were too red, too black, so not the right color for the project. So I decided I don't have any faux leather anyway, so yeah, I'm going to make some pieces. I guess it was 5 in the end, so like really big pieces, and only the last coloring of the paper had the right color for this journal. So yeah, I'm gonna be using a strip of this. I make this faux leather. As you can see, it's yeah, quite flexible, so bandy and all this. Not like paper anymore. I make this with glycerin, 1 part glycerin, 1 part water. Paint it on the paper, let the paper dry for at least 12 hours. And then usually I use shoe polish, shoe wax, to color my paper, but yeah, I didn't have the right colors at home. Only 2 of, I guess it's, yeah, 4 brown tones and black, of course. So I only had 2 brown tones at home, and also because we had a bank holiday on Thursday, I didn't want to go to town to buy new shoe polish. So yeah, in the end I've been using my acrylic paints and sealed everything with, yeah, actually first matte Mod Podge, which turned out to be way too shiny. So I've been using matte medium to cover my Mod Podge in the end. So it's, yeah, semi-glossy, I'd say, but still it's very soft. The reason I sealed this is because when the acrylic paint dries on the paper, even if there's glycerin in the paper, which keeps it from drying out, it's sort of oily, and therefore makes the paper very soft. So even if there's glycerin in the paper, the acrylic paint at some point will be very dry and just break, so I had to seal this. If I use shoe wax for this, I just sort of polish my glycerin paper with a, not like those, with a rag from an old t-shirt. And yeah, it takes a few days, but the shoe wax will really dry and afterwards feel like leather. This is just great. And what I don't like is to crumple up my paper first, because of course old leather has a lot of cracks, but if you crumple this, in my opinion, it just looks like crumpled. Not like if there are cracks in there. So yeah, I really like my paper to be flat. If I want to imitate these cracked look, I just use a piece of packaging, acetate packaging, crumple it and sort of dab on my shoe polish with this. But in this case I wanted to have sort of a plain leather look. So I also used this t-shirt rag for the acrylic paint and just sort of polished this on in small circles, not too exact, and then another layer, and this turned out to be sort of nicely spotty, like organic leather would look. So, and this is, in my opinion, the right color for this. So it's a grayish brown, and I just could use this strip, fold it like this, and then fold it over again like this, and just sew it, and I would have a belt. But I want to reinforce this further, so I'm gonna be using this woven edge of an old sheet. So I'm just cutting off here this woven edge, because this will be even more sturdy. And this is going in here, and then I'm going to fold over my edges, and then I'm going to sew this in. But first, I guess I want to sort of secure this strip so it doesn't move, because maybe you can, you can see this. For some reason, this is already a bit round. Like I told you, this actually is a bed sheet, or was a bed sheet. I have no idea what happened here, but I'm going to correct this by gluing this down to my paper. So with already folding this, I've made marks here inside my paper where to place my fabric. And for this I'm going to use bookbinding glue. Will take a moment to dry, but I don't care. So first plus of gluing this strip of fabric down to your paper strip is the fabric won't move when sewing here. Yes, it can actually slide under the folds. Happened to me because the pressure of my sewing machine, the needle foot, is very heavy, and no, I can't adjust it. This machine doesn't allow it. I like my sewing machine. I have to say this because she can hear me. And the other reason is, if you put on like bookbinding glue, This will reinforce the paper strips, so your belt, further. So I'm going to let this dry, and then I will sew along the right and the left edge of this. So I will have, yeah, a belt look when I'm finished. And yeah, to add this to my belt buckle, I guess I'm gonna be using an eyelet or two. Don't know yet. Maybe I even will sew the tiniest bit here. I don't know yet. Because when I use an eyelet here in the middle, even if I fold this over twice, these edges will just flap up at some point. I could glue them down. Well, let's see when this sewing here is finished what I'm going to do. Now for attaching my belt buckle, I already mitered these corners here because I want to find the front and the back. So this is the back. I want to fold this in here and again fold this in, and only then I want to attach it, so my sort of belt, to my belt buckle, wrong way, like so. There. So to avoid sewing here at this point, I could just glue this down and then attach a, yeah, maybe an eyelet, or I don't know if I do have these metal buttons. No, I don't think so. It will be an eyelet. Yeah. I guess gluing this down it will be, because I don't know, having only a sewing line from left to right just here wouldn't matter on the back side, because I do have the fold here anyway, but on this side this really would look weird, wouldn't it? So yeah, I'm going to glue this down, but first let's see if I do have the right length for this. Oh, more than enough. Yes, definitely. Oh, I so like this color with the journal. Great. So going to attach this. Which glue do I use for this? I guess it will be art glitter glue. Well, bookbinding glue also glues everything, really everything, but it will take a while to dry. And I already have chosen eyelets for this. Well, to be honest, I only have one sort of small eyelets. And yeah, I made some tests with my crocodile for this, because my handheld pliers are not suitable for this. So this is a bit thicker. Let's see. This actually could work, so this is C4. Oh. So I do have C and then 4. And I'm gonna be using the same eyelet I will be using for the other side of the belt. Well, I haven't decided yet if I'm gonna be using eyelets or if I'm just going to make holes in there. Like smaller holes. I don't know. Well, because the outer layer is paper, I guess it will be eyelets. I still have a few more minutes to decide this, right? So going to punch a small hole. Let me just mark sort of the middle, so I don't have to kind of like crawl under my crocodile. That's the downside of this thing. I bought it because, yeah, you can actually make holes and install eyelets after you decided not to. Typical for me. Oi, 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 oi. Maybe not doing this on a glass mat. But it's not as convenient. Well, it's making quite nice holes. But yeah, there's my eyelet. So I guess this doesn't fit. Well, again, I bought eyelets just to test this from Amazon. They said the size is 4.5 millimeters, so 3 millimeters on the inside, which should have been the right size for the crocodile hole. But of course, whoo, there goes my eyelet. I guess the cats will find it. Hopefully not my granddog son, because no, he will eat it. Where? I absolutely have to remove my fingernails. They are always in the way. So yeah, yeah, I bought these eyelets, but of course they are not the right size. I don't get this in there. Well, I guess this has going to go in there the old-fashioned way. Let's see. Are you the right one? Yes. Hopefully I can manage, because these pliers are really dull. I bought them for leather, and they cut leather, but they don't cut fabric at all. So next try. There's my eyelet, and these fingernails are in the way all the time. Ooh, just fits. Yay. So let's hope that this is the right setting for the crocodile. Well, my test piece says it is. We will see. I'm not going to press this through on my glass mat. I'm going to do this here at the side on my desk. Let's just hope. I'm going to give it a try. Cross your fingers. Ooh, yes. This looks really, really nice. I'm surprised. So these eyelets are just made for thicker material, because this was the result with the setting. Let's see, C1, and here we have C2. I've tested them all, but this is really, oh, the washer's coming off. So maybe this is also too thick. Well, it stays without the washer, so this means the edge is folded, sort of. Yeah, it's in. but without the washer. So again, no washer. So this material is too thick and this is too thin. So going to put this in here again, so no washer. Remember this, Tina. And now we want to know how long this has to be. So let's see. Put this around here. And yeah, I'd say I really would like her to grow more. So I'm going to give her a bit of room. So this will be one hole. Where is my, there. Just here. There. And then, yeah. Let's see. I guess I'm going to be making the hole and then setting the eyelet, and then I'm going to have a look where to set the others. So I want one here on the left of this and two to the right. So I do have 4 holes, I guess. I think this will do. So first I'm going to be making 1 hole. Oh, this went completely wrong. I don't know what I did. Really, this tool isn't for me. Absolutely not. I don't understand it. I've watched I don't know how many tutorials on this, but still the tool doesn't and to surprise me with little gifts like this, and I have no idea what I'm doing wrong. And it's not only those, it's also the original We Are Memory Keepers that was sent with this. Well, those legs are splitting, but I heard people say usually the legs don't split. I have absolutely no idea. Let's test another setting and get another washer. So they told us to hold the sort of head of the eyelet against the upper part of the big bite, the crocodile. But how do I manage to hold on to my washer while doing this? No. So on this side, on the thinner part, the eyelets are still too long, and here it's too short. I don't get it. I really need some other eyelets. So I'm going to, yeah, delight my neighbors and use a hammer for this. So I guess for the other 3 eyelets, I'm going to be testing some other settings on my crocodile. Really, I've spent 2 days trying to learn how to use every single one of my eyelets with this. This is why I do have those here. For all the others I can use the standard settings, but actually these eyelets are hell. So no, these eyelets are actually a no-go. I found sort of a setting for this, and then in the end I had to hammer them all in. So yeah, I could have used them without the washers anyway. So let's pretend this is looking all nice. I'm definitely going to go and find other eyelets for this. No, no way. Yeah, still trying to kind of like sort my thoughts. So we want to have a, yeah, sort of a finish here. But before we do this, we have to find out the width for this. So, and now I don't want this belt to be just wrapped around my journal. I, yeah, actually want this to stay on my journal when I open it. And for this, I'm going to close it again to find a position to, wait for it, to know where I will sew there my belt to the spine. Well, finally done. So, 3-spine journal, Mademoiselle Guillot. I did it! Now, let's have a look outside first. So, yeah, we just added the closure, and here we do have a window made from the opening. You pull your tissues out. Then we have a lot of tabs and cards and ruffles and dangles sticking out here. Here on the back I also made a dangle with a hair clip and some beads and one of these photo slides. Sorry. And also on the top there are some tabs peeking out, and here again tabs and one ruffle. And of course you can see the binding on the outside with the other part of the reinforcement we made for the letter R in ABC April. So these ruffles actually are reinforcement ruffles. Okay, let's open her up again. Beautiful. I really like the color of this belt. Great. So first things first. This one slipped down. So here behind this window you have the first tag and some writing space on the back, of course. And I made the openings for these pockets so that you can slide in your tags and cards and whatnots very easy, because I folded over here the acetate packaging I've been using from the inside to the outside and then glued on the design paper. I made this with all the pockets. So opening this, there's a flap on the inside cover with one tag, also writing space on the back, and a journal card. This is a copy of an old advertisement out of a local newspaper. Yep, I was allowed to copy this because it's from 1917. Yeah. This will fall open anyway. So let's start with the first page of the first signature. Just a bit of decorating on the music paper. Here as well, added a bit of writing space. Then a book page, just decorated with a bit of stenciling. And on the back, a sort of mini cluster. Then a coffee dyed page with a decorated fold out, so you will have more writing space. This is a digital print from Margreth's from Seven Plazas calligraphy set, and I guess this specific sheet is from the freebie. I don't remember it too well. On the back I printed lines for writing, added a pocket with a little tag. Then we have this really thin paper, this calligraphy practice paper. Oh, this page I really like. For the letter F of ABC April we made photo transfers on fabric, and I've been using this one to sew it on a piece of coffee dyed architecture paper. And yeah, behind this flap is a pocket made from a book page, and in the book in the pocket is another pocket made from a book page with just a piece of paper to write on. Then again a sort of advertisement journaling card in French. This music sheet, this was a lucky accident. I'm going to show you. So this is the offcut of one of the pages. I just added a cluster here, so you will have sort of a tab on top and a tab at the side. Again, coffee dyed paper with a fold out. This is writing paper from my son's old school notebook. Again, a little cluster made into a pocket, and then I glued on this photo. No, yeah, I glued it onto this offcut, and over this I made sort of what's it called? These clear screens you have put photos behind about 100 years ago. Very brittle. I forgot the word, but for this I've been using just clear tape. Just folded one strip of clear tape in half and glued it together on the sticky sides, and adding some alcohol ink. And this strip I glued, I put on with some staples. This, oh, I also like this. So I do have a lot of these envelope pieces because someone has been keeping these postage stamps. Actually, someone very close to where I've been born and raised, and it has been sold on a flea market here around the corner, which is, yeah, actually about 400 kilometers from where I've been born. This is really funny. So yeah, I've been using this to make a flap here, and added another ad, very old, with a paper clip on here. This is also sticking out the tiniest bit. Speaking of tiny, I have to reattach the tiny paper clip here. So making just a bit of a cluster underneath. Also coffee dyed paper. So this paper I sprayed with coffee, crumpled up, and then sprayed some more coffee on top and let the papers, all the balls, dry as they were. So yeah, they do have a really nice marble effect, I'd say. So this is the page, yeah, actually the reinforcement, the ruffle reinforcement we've made for the letter R. And here is, oh, I forgot to punch it. I forgot to devalue it. So this is Mademoiselle Guillot's devalued old ID card she kept in here. And then this is the wedding invitation of her best friend, also very old, as you can see. She also kept in here. This looks just great. I love it. So then another cluster with sort of a tab here as a tuck spot for a tag. I made just out of one of the cut-offs, of course. Also, this is a fold open, and yeah, flipping this page, you have a dangle at this fabric tab, and here is the tab from the other side. And yeah, here we have the happy accident pocket. Well, I glued on this part. Let's find this. So this and this is one strip of a cut off of a music sheet. So the bottom cut off. And I glued on this part as a pocket. So you do have just a note here and a ticket just tucked behind this. But when I slide in the other pages again, this part didn't stay here. Yeah, it just sort of flapped under. So I thought, why not make this its own page? I really like it. And then again, the thin paper. Oh yeah, this also was a happy accident because I didn't pay attention and accidentally glued this label down to both this side and this side. So I just cut it off, left it like it is here, and decorated this piece, this larger piece, with a bit more interest. And again, the inside of the calligraphy set sheet with a cluster. Yeah, when I was picking out some fuzzy cut people, I just marked them like with a square, rectangle, whatever, copied them to another sheet, and yeah, accidentally she was on there as well. So I printed this head, her head, out and cut it off from the other part I actually wanted as a fuzzy cut, and I thought, why not add her peeking behind, for example, this cluster. I really like it. This is also part of the reinforcement video. I just cut this to pieces and made tabs with it. My granddog son is dreaming and running in his dream, I guess. Again, coffee dyed paper. Just decorated the tiniest bit with some teared off book pages. Here I added one of my stamped ephemera. I've not been doing much to this. I just stamped this, made sort of a bill for the dining car of the Southern Railway. I just added this here. Oh, I actually have been using a coffee dyed calendar sheet for this. again, come on, again, music paper, and yeah, the last page. So we do have the next part of the tissue boxes. So this is yeah, already the second tissue box. Again, I made a pocket, top loading pocket with a window and a tag inside. Just using leftovers, of course. And before you turn this over, you might want to close it, because the other two signatures are both on this side. Let's see, I guess. Yeah, I'm going to be starting at the beginning. So this is a pocket, a stacked pocket made out of 8x8 papers. This was an idea of 7 Plaza too, and I really liked it. So I made it for the cover. Just tucked some things in here. Also, I made a booklet out of offcuts. Just stapled it and put it in here. Again, starting with music paper, just like with the first signature. When I'm making 3 signatures, I like to make 2 that are very alike. Don't ask me why, it's just me. So yeah, decorated music sheet, then a journaling card attached with a rusty paper clip. Again, like with the first signature here, writing book page with a bit of stenciling, but because the order of my pages is the slightest bit different in here for a reason, I have this flip out thingy with the fabric and the pocket with the pocket already on this page and on this side. Again, the calligraphy printable kit, decorated on the back with a bigger cluster book page. Just one sticker here on the back, that's it. Again, real calligraphy paper with stenciling, and then coffee dyed writing paper. Ooh. Coffee dyed writing paper with a cluster for a tuck spot. Or no, this is actually a side loading pocket. I made these quite a while ago. These are real dried leaves. Cut them out of a masterboard. Then a tag from the calligraphy digital set from 7 Plaza. Folding this over, you have a tag here hanging from a tab. These tags I found at our thrift store, but I didn't buy them because they just lay there in one of the baskets, 3 of them, and I asked if I can take them with me, and yeah, of course. So I really like this form, the shape of them. I missed to make this into a pocket. I don't know why. Yeah, it is what it is. So just a cluster with the frame and the picture behind slightly off. Then a letter from Madame Guillot's best friend with a photo attached. And just a piece of really old paper. Actually, this is really old paper. This is the inner first paper of a very old book. So again, reinforced pocket. Then, yeah, on the inside, I glued another bill, also French, and an envelope. And in this envelope are some cards. So business cards and a note. And behind the envelope there's a tag, also an offcut with lots of writing space behind. Is it? Is it? Again, a tag spot made from a cluster with a tag with a photograph of Gustav Eiffel. You know, the man who built the Eiffel Tower. Well, not built, but designed the Eiffel Tower. And of course, the French are really proud of this architectural beauty. I absolutely understand, because, yeah, it's just great. Oh, my granddog son just woke up. Bless you. So this is a photo out of my favorite magazine. And folding this over, I left this because I didn't see why I should put so many little tiny thingies in here when I really like the journal, the journals I make to be writing journals. So yeah. But then again, yeah, a pocket made of a photograph from the same magazine from the Eiffel Tower. Yeah, I know it was built 1889, but Mademoiselle Guillot just visited it in 1898. So, yeah. Again, 2 journaling cards. And another of the ruffle tabs. And on the back side, as a fold out, another card. Oh, and this one I really like. This is a newspaper piece, sheet, whatever. You can fold open like this and then flip open to the right like this. I like it. And of course, this is repaired with boo-boo tape. It does even sound French. Boo-boo tape. Honestly, who didn't buy this? And then, let's see. Yeah, this is a writing. On this side, I printed writing space. And this, again, is the other side of the digital from Seven Plaza. Here again, I just added a cluster, just for the eye. I added a bee. I have no idea why. I just thought this looks quite nice here. And oh, this actually is movable. I like it. And I made this part again into a tab. And again, the music sheet. So yeah, you can see, last page, I just added a butterfly here, like so. And then we do have another opening, but this time I don't make a top loading pocket or side loading pocket. I'll show you in a minute why. But this pocket loads from the outside, from the spine. And I just added 3 of Seven Plaza's tags from her calligraphy set. So you can see them through the opening behind the acetate. I really like it. First I was thinking to add a letter you can pull out here, but this would have been curled up in no time. So I would have wanted to add a tab, just like here, but I thought, why not make it different this time, something new. And you can see the text behind this. I like it. So the reason why I didn't make a top loading or side loading pocket from this side is because I used this to make this file folder compartment. Oh my gosh, I love them. I really love them. And yeah, here I added actually the journaling card, more or less, I made in the Fun with Fabric video for ABC April. And another journaling card more or less blank. Just a book page on one side and a bit of mixed media on the back. Or the other way around. Just choose. Let me close this again. I added loads of twine here because I really like this. So then we come to the middle signature, of which the first page itself is very, very delicious. So I'm going to be showing you the first and the last page first. In the video I made about preparing my pages for the signatures, so reinforcing them, I found that this part here, where this is tucked under, was already glued to this page with this strip of clear tape, and I just added some gluing here and made this a tuck spot because I didn't want to lose this. Someone had sort of corrected the music sheet and just taped it on here on the whole page, because this actually was an entire page, and on this side I just made this a belly band. Again, just glued on here, and I somehow had to reinforce this, so I glued it on here again. Also repaired it with boo-boo tape. It's also been repaired down here with clear tape by the previous owner, of course, and I just use this here as a belly band. I hung in a note and a ticket strip. I really like it. I really, really like it. So before we come to this, I'm going to show you the other pages. So, this is just an advertisement from the Austrians for the Paris World's Fair in 1900. I tucked under here, also writing space, of course. Then here, book page, and a stamped on invoice. Just tuck this here over the page and clipped on a paper clip, just like this. Then again, another page of 7 Plasters calligraphy set. Here I added a Russian page with a die cut because I thought calligraphy and Cyrillic writing are sort of similar. Here I just added a pocket with a leftover, and from another leftover I made a tag with writing space. And this book page I actually left it like it is because this is from a biography of Beethoven, and I thought I just leave the music parts here. I really love it. Another tuck spot made from a cluster with a copy of a very old letter correspondence from, I forgot, from some sort of an engineer to the patent office. Really nice. Again, made sort of a tab here. And here, again, writing paper of my son. This time it's dyed with rust water. Again, some over the page, sheet, paper, whatever. Actually, I want to leave this on here to show you how this works. So, wood, rusty paper clip is closing this. And then you take off the paper clip, fold this down and this down, so you have a lot of writing space here additionally. And again, a tuck spot made from a cluster with a, what's it? An invoice, I guess. Yeah, French invoice for writing space. coffee dyed paper. Oh yeah, and here on the calligraphy paper I just added a cutout of, again, my favorite magazine and retraced it on the back side with an art pencil and faked a signature. I really like it. Here I just used my homemade washi tape from tissue paper. Again, another invoice here. No, this is actually a bill. Yeah. Also stamped on coffee dyed calendar sheet. And yeah, here I just added a tab with a bit of decoration underneath, and at the tab I hung these tiny tags, and on the back side, of course, the hole is on the back side as well, I added one of the photo slide charms here. So another book page. Oh, I forgot. I don't know if you can see this here at the repair strips. I added some stamping. Yeah, you can see this. Then just a bit of decoration here, of course, Paris. And we're at the last page again with this sort of belly band. And here, so sort in the middle of the journal, I added a notepad. Again, from cut-offs and leftovers. Just assembled some pages like this and put them together with two brads. And actually you can take this out here. Here's a belly band with a bit of a gusset, and then you can just hang in another notepad here, like so. Oh yeah, the tiniest bit of decoration you couldn't see right now, just down here and a bit here, just to make it a bit more interesting, not as plain. And I guess, yeah, when we close it here and turn it over, we are at the first front again. So dearies, I really hope you like it, because it was a lot of work, but also really fun to make it. Really, just figuring out how to make the cover from 3 tissue boxes was the first fun, and then finding out this is Mademoiselle Guillot's journal and decorating it in a French shabby chic, nostalgic, vintage, you know what style was. It was just great. I really had fun. So, and for the next project, ooh, I have to say I'm a bit scared. Just the tiniest bit. Yeah, I want to make a lap book. And a lap book, dearies, is sort of my personal final boss. I wanted to make a lap book already 5 or 6 years ago, but really, considering the height of the spines and what to add and what not to add and how many flips and flaps and pockets, whoa, information overflow. But finally, I'm gonna be making a lap book, because I somehow need to prove to myself that I can do it. I'm not fantasizing anymore. I can do this. I mean, this isn't much more different, is it? So, yeah, my next project will be a lap book, but I guess I'm going to be making this with book pages and printables. I'm not going to be using expensive papers, because, yeah, when I'm using book pages for this, I just can say, okay, it's only paper, this didn't work, I can throw this part away, or remake it, or take it apart again, or whatnot. If I would use expensive papers for this, this wouldn't mean the end of the world, of course, when I mess it up, but I would be very sad, and I would have spent money, or let's say too much money, for an experiment. So, yeah. Hopefully, I'll see you then for the next video, when I'm going to start my lap book journey adventure thingy. And until then, as always, stay creative and be excellent to each other. Bye!